Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. Samantha Pryce set for surgery after breaking leg at Penn's. Sports Minister Oliver Grange has confirmed that former technical high athlete Samantha Pryce broke her leg when she fell while running the opening leg of the 4x800 Championship of America at the 126th staging of the Penn Relays at the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, the U.S. on Friday. I can confirm that one of our young Jamaican athletes, Samantha Pryce, who represents Homewood Technical High School, was injured while competing in the 4x800 meter at the Penn Relays, Grange said in a press release on Friday night. Grange, who is at the Penn Relays, added that she has been taken to the Penn Medical Center and we have been informed that she broke her leg when she fell in that race. She is currently being prepared for surgery. Samantha and all Jamaica high school students competing at the Penn Relay have been registered on the ministry's athletes insurance program, and we are making the arrangements to ensure that she gets the best care. I pray for a successful surgery and her speedy recovery. The gold medal was won by Edwin Allen High in 8 minutes and 58 seconds. 554 million, sees largest in JCF history, says Chang. National Security Minister Dr. Horace Chang says the more than US $3.8 million and CAD $30,000 found at a house in Montego Bay following Tuesday's cocaine bust in the resort city is the largest sum seized during a police operation in the history of the Jamaica Constabulary Force JCF. The police had reported that on Tuesday, April 26, 2022, a pre-dawn operation led by the Narcotics Division and supported by the Joint Anti-Gang Task Force and the Divisional Police was carried out in the Squanty Coral Gardens community in St. James. A vehicle was intercepted, and during a search, cocaine weighing approximately 11 kilograms with a street value of $88 million was found. Subsequent to the seizure, a search was conducted at a house in Coral Gardens where the police discovered the cash. This is the largest seizure of illegitimate cash in the history of the police operation, Dr. Chang had said. Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Clifford Chambers, head of the Area 1 Police Division, concurred. It is considered to be one of the biggest financial fines associated with drug smuggling in Jamaica, ACP Chambers said. So far, 2 people have been taken into custody in connection with the drug bust. Their identities are being withheld pending further investigations. On Friday, Parish Judge Sasha Simit Ashley ordered that one of the arrested individuals be charged or released by 6 p.m. on Tuesday, May 3rd, after a habeas corpus application was made on his behalf by his lawyer. The court was informed by detectives that the investigation into the seizure are at a sensitive case and that the suspect is to be questioned on May 3rd. The individual is being represented by attorney Martin Thomas, Henry McCurdy, and Michael Hemmings. Meanwhile, ACP Chambers noted that in 2005, the United States had requested the extradition of the owner of the house where the large stash of cash was found, but it was blocked by the court. Dr. Chang lauded the police for their excellent work, which led to the drug bust and subsequent money fine. It is a reflection of the quality of work that is being done and the improved intelligence the police have in all areas, and due to which they have been able to apprehend more and more of the criminal elements, Dr. Chang told reporters. But there are a large amount of them out there. The contract killing introduces a new element which is harder to catch, but they are catching them. They are harder to apprehend in their early stage, but we make amendments. The police are making adjustments, Dr. Chang noted. Blind man needs a house. Life hasn't been easy for 60-year-old Emmanuel Wanson Edwards, and now in his twilight years, it hasn't got any better. The almost totally blind man desperately needs somewhere to live. He occupies one room of a dilapidated house at Kildare in Buff Bay. His late wife's daughter lives on the other side and has planned to fix the entire house. So Edward needs to move while work is going on. He would like to seize this as an opportunity to get a place of his own. There is land available nearby, he said. I have been living here for about 40 years. Right now, I would like a little house for myself right out there at that open spot. They say that they are going to fix up their part, so I have to get somewhere to stay, make them fix up the whole house, he told reporters during a recent visit. His wife, who died 3 years ago, had helped him build a structure that has now seen better days. The roof is riddled with holes, and termites have been making a meal on the rotten woods. The space is cramped. On Edward's neatly made bed, there's a suitcase in which he stores his clothes. Overhead, his laundry hangs from a line, slowly dripping from ray of sunlight streaming in through the roof. Steps away is his stove, on which rests his two pots. Jug hangs overhead. I do my own cooking and help myself and sing. Me feel a run with me foot, he explained, adding that he sometimes encounters a dust trail left by termites. All me bed are rotten down, and me just have to help myself, as me can't lay down and no do nothing. No one now really pay me no mind, as I have to wash my clothes, look about me food. Everybody have them own thing I do, he said. Before he began losing his sight, Edwards worked and supported himself. He lists St. Mary Bananas and National Solid Waste Management Authority as former employers. I used to cut trees. I worked at St. Mary Bananas for 5 years and it closed. I got $10,000 in those days as redundancy. I then worked with the garbage truck and the man them stop me cause me couldn't see. Them say me willing to work, but me wasn't seeing good. It's 2-time vehicles knocked me down with garbage pan in my hand, he said. On one of those occasions, he suffered a broken leg, he said, but never received any form of compensation. That accident took place 4 years ago, he told reporters. See me foot here? Edwards said as he pulled up his pant leg to show the scarred limb. Me no get nothing. This is a pin in my foot. Them took me to Anatomy Hospital and then St. Anne's Hospital where them look after my foot. His health problems began in 2006 when he started losing his sight. He is still not sure why his world began going dark. Me no know. Me go a doctor, the doctor tell me say, me sickness caused from me nerves, and that is it, he said when he asked. Right now, me I go down to the clinic and then give me a paper to go doctor at town to go check out my eye. See the paper me have here? Me no have no funds to go at the chest hospital with the paper, he said as he clutched an envelope stashed in a plastic bag to keep it from getting wet when water comes in from the roof. For now, his most pressing concern is getting somewhere to live quickly. I have tried various ways to get some help for a house, but none coming, said Edwards. Anyone who wishes to help Edwards may contact him at 876-418-8945. Free education, nonsense. Independent public policy think tank Caribbean Policy Research Institute (CAPRI) has scoffed at suggestions that the government fully fund tertiary education here, proposing instead an income contingent loan model that could even have a built-in mechanism for collecting from beneficiaries who migrate, leaving their guarantors holding the bag. The recommendation of a student loan scheme in which the repayment is based on how much income a graduate earns is the most important recommendation of CAPRI's latest study, launched on Thursday night, entitled Footing the Bill, The Hard Choices for Financing University Education. According to CAPRI, the legacy of the Jamaican sense of entitlement to the government paying for their education needs to stop. A university education, it is insisting, should be paid for by the individual benefit from it. This can be done with a student loan system that factors in the social and economic realities of Jamaican and Caribbean societies that considers that all students, even the poorest, will be able to pay for the university education over their lifetime. The ideal model would allow students to gain access to tertiary education without the risk of unpayable debt and would provide liquidity to universities that would allow them to provide high-quality education, thus creating a pool of skilled workers to the country and community, CAPRI researcher Shannon Chisholm said in presenting the findings. According to CAPRI, the proposed income contingent loan scheme, which is a suitable model for Jamaica, shifts the risk to the lender. This way, if the student ends up in a low employment income job or becomes unemployed, then the debt service obligations automatically adjust. The think tank says under the scheme, students would choose between paying their tuition upfront or different payments. The debt would be recorded and linked to a student's tax registration number (TRN). When the student graduates or, for any other reason, cease studying, they would start making contributions contingent on their income. The contribution would be collected by employers based on the borrower's income, just like an income tax or any other social contribution. Noting that an important prerequisite for this or any other student loan scheme in Jamaica is that repayment should be collectible from immigrants, Capri said that would need to be a bilateral or multilateral agreement between countries that receive Jamaican migrants regarding the payment of the loan. In all, there is no such thing as free education. Someone has to pay for it, and the only sustainable way to make it easy and flexible for students to pay, the report stated. On Thursday, Capri's executive director, Dr. Damon King, addressing the matter of management of the scheme given Jamaica's huge informal sector, said this is where the TRN would prove invaluable. The loan, is the first instance, is connected to the person's TRN, and even if you work in the informal sector, because of your TRN, you interface with state agencies throughout your life, so you can't avoid your obligation. You can't go missing just by being self-employed. You have to go missing entirely, not using the public services, not renewing your driver's license, for you to escape entirely by just being informal. At any interface with the state where you need to produce your TRN, then you can be held accountable, he pointed out. Damian Brown, Group Chief Investment Officer at Jamaica Money Marketing Broker, commenting on the proposal said, "The reality is that if we can get these mechanisms to make it practical, then it can be a solution. Part of the issue is to ensure that there are the right incentives as well. So create the right incentives for the students, but depending on how it is configured, which are some of the issues we are having now, ensure that there are the right incentives to collect assiduously and that there are the right incentives for the students to choose programs that either aligned with their life goals or in terms of value added that's generated over time and aligned with what the government and the private sectors need in terms of skill set," said Brown, who was part of the 2020 Education Transformation Commission, chaired by Professor Orlando Patterson. King, commenting further, said the solutions we are proposing are not without their problems. There are practical and process-determining details to be worked out, especially in relation to the migration problems. There is some work to be done in the details, but what is laid out here is a broad approach that certainly can be pushed further than what has been done so far. In the meantime, he said Jamaica has not been able to surmount the issue because it has spent time pursuing what should have been foreseen to be unviable solutions. Free territory education was one of them because free territory education ultimately resulted in the University of the West Indies not getting the resources it needed to sustain and produce itself, and the quality nose-dived. It's not, how can it be free? It's really, who is to pay for it? Capri's proposal is a student loan for which the repayment of that loan is related to how much income the graduate earns, King stated. So if the graduate becomes unemployed, the service of that debt automatically goes into abeyance. If he ends up with a lower paying job than he aspired to be, the debt service is corresponding lower. If things work out beautifully and he goes into a career path which is higher earning, he can pay off the loan more quickly, he added. The UWI is the premier provider of tertiary education in Jamaica. This school, which is presently funded in part by tuition fees and a direct grant from the government, is, however, facing serious shortfalls in funding that threatens its viability as an institution. According to Capri, the government's attempt to offer citizens free education for a period beginning in 1973 left the university in a paralyzed financial state which has continued for decades. Under that regime, the government paid not only tuition fees but living expenses. There was a huge increase in the enrollment number by 429%. Please remember to subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.